Hey guys, welcome back to the Sum of Pie. Today I'm going to be doing a recipe that is a bit out of my comfort zone. It's a blueberry scone recipe. And I'm not like a crazy scone person where I have to have scones every single day. But I went to Starbucks and I got a scone and it was hard. It was dry. It was just not a good experience. So through trial and error, I came up with my own scone that's moist and delicious. And I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did. All right, so we're going to start off with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. To that, we're going to add a fourth a cup of sugar. And then we're going to add a half a teaspoon of kosher salt. And then 2 teaspoons of baking soda. All right, now you just want to whisk these together. Very important to whisk and get everything incorporated so that when you're adding in your wet ingredients, you don't have too much of one thing in one spot. It's really not good. Like, just make sure everything is nice and incorporated. So mix that together. And then we're going to add in 1 whole stick of unsalted butter. Make sure you cut it into cubes to make it easier to work with. And the key to this is to have really cold butter. So I recommend even freezing your butter and cutting it into cubes, or cutting it into cubes and then freezing it. Because what happens is when you start to work with your hands, it gets warm and it starts to melt. And the key is not to get it to melt, to get that nice light and puffy scone that we're going for. And you can also do this with the pastry cutter too, make your life easier. But I like to get in there with my hands and just squish. And you want to do it till it's like the texture of crumbs. And that's how you know you're on the right path. Guys, so this is the consistency that you're going for here. Just some crumbles like that. And now we're going to sit this to the side for a minute and we're going to get started on the wet ingredients. So wet ingredients, very simple. We're going to take 1 large egg and we're going to mix it with a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. Very important. Don't use anything other than heavy whipping cream here. It gives you the fat content you want and it's just nice and rich flavor. How cute is this cow? I found this at a thrift market. Isn't he just the most adorable thing? Yeah, I'm a thrift addict junkie. Hi, I'm Sharita, and I'm addicted to thrift shopping. So you just want to mix this up with the egg. And then to this, you're going to want to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. 2 generous teaspoons if you're like me. I love the taste of vanilla. Add those in. Then we're just going to give this a good mix here. I feel like scones are so underrated. Nobody appreciates scones anymore. I don't know how they've gotten the stigma that it's like, you know, you're a little old lady if you want to eat your scones and drink your tea. But I am all about that. That sounds like an awesome Saturday afternoon to me. All right. So we got these mixed together. Mix, mix, mix. All right. Now we can set this to the side. All right, now back to our dough. We're going to add in 1 cup of fresh blueberries and 1 tablespoon of lemon zest. You can certainly go more with the lemon zest if you like. I feel like 1 tablespoon is good enough for me, but by all means, if you really, really love that lemony flavor, you can certainly go with 2 or 3 tablespoons. So just mix that until the berries are nice and coated. And then I just like to make a little hole here, a little well. And then we'll just go right on in and pour in our wet ingredients. And then you just want to go in there and stir everything together. It's going to make a nice little dough. It smells so good. The lemon, the blueberries. It's like an awesome combination. I can't imagine having blueberries with anything other than lemons. It's good with your pies too, if you're making like a blueberry pie. All right, guys, so we are back. I'm just going to dust my cutting board. Get that out of the way. And that's my cutting board with a little bit of flour. And just gonna put the dough right on there. Sprinkle a little bit more on top just so it's easier to work with. Get that excess off your hands. And you don't want to overwork your dough. You don't have to beat the dough into submission. I know when I first started baking, that was one of the things that I did a lot, was overwork my dough. So you just want to get it just like that. And you want to get this into a little disc. I like to form mine into a square. Just makes it a little bit easier to cut when you're ready to cut out your triangles. So pat it down and try to shape it as you go so you get like the look of a square. And don't make it too thick, but not too thin either. Nothing worse than a skinny scone. All right, so we can flatten this out a little bit more. All right, clean off my hands here. It's messy. All good things are. All right, so next what we're gonna do is, well, first of all, I highly recommend this thing here. It's called a scraper or bench scraper, I think, but it's awesome. It's for like when you're doing onions or peppers and you dice them up, you just scoop. It's awesome. So basically what we're gonna do here, we're just gonna cut into triangles. So you can cut them into squares, you can cut them however you like, but the traditional scone is a triangle. So I just like to start with one corner there and just press down. And then come over to this corner, press down. And you should be getting uniform squares like this. So I'll cut out the rest of these. I have filled up the tray, and a tip for you too is to use some parchment paper to line your tray. It helps with removal, like things just come out so easy. You could also butter your pan, or if you don't have parchment paper, but if you do have it, I highly recommend using it. So the last step to these scones before we put them in the oven is we're just going to take a tablespoon of heavy cream and we're just going to brush the top of them. This gives them a nice brown color on top. So be generous. I mean, we're already eating a whole stick of butter and sugar, so there's no need to skimp on the heavy cream. I'll do some extra crunches tonight. Guilt crunches is what I call them. When I eat something, I like ration with myself. I'll just do extra crunches tonight. All right. And you can also sprinkle some sugar on the top of these too, if you want like that sandy look on top of them. I know some scones have that. It's called sanding sugar. I'm not going to use that though. I'm not a fan of it. So just brush these with some heavy cream. And then these go into a 400-degree oven for 16 to 18 minutes. Start checking on them after about 16 minutes though. You don't want them to go too far. So this is what they should look like. And then we just place them into the oven for 16 to 19 minutes. And I will check back in with you when these beauties are done. So they're out of the oven and this is the finished product. I just went ahead and plated it up, and you can see you just want to toast them until they are brown. Bake them, I'm sorry. And then you can serve them with fresh blueberries and coffee. That's how I like mine. You can have yours however you want. And also I should mention that this is not a very sweet recipe. Like, don't think of dessert when you think of scone. Think of more as a breakfast item that you have with coffee or tea. So it's not super sweet. You can certainly adjust the sugar if you like. And one major thing, I'm so sorry, in the beginning I said baking soda. It's baking powder that you want to use. Don't use baking soda, baking powder. So there they are. All right, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will keep bringing you guys tasty recipes. I will see you next time.